This morning, postulation day, we're about to go and hand in our list at the Parliament building, and I'm very excited. We did this 4 years ago and we garnered 2 seats, so I'm hoping and praying that the population of St. Maarten endorses us again with 5, even 10. Give us the full mandate and let PFP show you what we're really about and how we can govern St. Maarten and make it better.
Good, feeling positive. The turnout is nice. Everybody's bringing, family, friends. And so we have a decent amount of people out here, and that's what it's about. Showing that you're willing to, stand behind a party that stands for something. So I think that's very important on this island, and I hope that we can change the political landscape to get more of that going, that you can show your colors, show it with pride, and not be scared of the repercussions on St. Maarten.
For us to come out and support a winning party. We're going to be winning this election. Come out and support Choose Progress.
Voting Bureau, to my fellow PFP candidates, to those family, friends, and supporters gathered here in the Tribune, and those listening online. 4 years has passed in what feels like the blink of an eye. It is a timeline that has been celebrated by those in the thin majority, but lamented by many in the public. We've suffered through a lot together, St. Maarten, you and PFP. We suffered through a global pandemic where we were the only faction to try and cut the salaries of members of parliament and ministers in solidarity with the economic hell that we knew was coming and that many of you are still experiencing. Others didn't have that same care for you and voted us down. Remember that on January 11th. We've suffered through a government that is allergic to the words responsibility and accountability, that has failed to put in place the policies required by law to make sure your money is protected before they spend it. And when PFP tried to hold them accountable, which is our job as your representatives, they said, nah, and voted us down. Remember that on January 11th. We've suffered through high rates of absenteeism from Rescue Ranger Coalition members who travel the world on your dime, have nothing to show for it, and then have the gall, the audacity to ask you for your vote again. Remember that on January 11th. We've been in the dark with you, literally and figuratively, as the first faction to bring a minister to account for the situation at GEBE on your behalf, and receiving confusion as our answer, if we got answers at all. Remember that on January 11th. But most importantly, St. Maarten, remember what happens when you do not exercise your democratic right to select your representatives. I know you are exhausted. I too am tired. But that does not mean we can rest. Because the people that have brought us here, whether they've been here for 30 years or 5 years, are happy that you are tired. It means you can't pay attention and you don't have energy to fight. But we have energy for us all. So you must play your part in this too. To our young people, remember that ice cream melts, songs goes out of style, the fete will finish, and all the rags and flags will fade. what will be left for you when that happens? To our educators, remember that when the coupons and discount cards run out, you're still left with absolutely no action in our education system for a full 4 years, a mandate they asked for. To our industry leaders, remember that instead of moving forward with an economic recovery plan, a sound one, you were stuck with a high profit tax because not taking a decision was better than agreeing to a plan that brought no personal glory. And to all the people of Sint Maarten, I leave you with this. We all make choices in life, but in the end, our choices make us. On January 11th, choose the gold standard, choose progress, choose PFP, and see what that choice can make Sint Maarten. Thank you.
We're here this morning, postulation day. We're about to go and hand in our list at the Parliament building, and I'm very excited. We did this 4 years ago and we garnered 2 seats, so I'm hoping and praying that the population of Sint Maarten endorses us again with 5, even 10. Give us the full mandate and let PFP show you what we're really about and how we can govern Sint Maarten and make it better.
Good, feeling positive. The turnout is nice. Everybody's bringing, family, friends. And so we have a decent amount of people out here, and that's what it's about. Showing that you're willing to, stand behind a party that stands for something. So I think that's very important on this island, and I hope that we can change the political landscape to get more of that going, that you can show your colors, show it with pride, and not be scared of the repercussions on Sint Maarten.
For us to come out and support a winning party. We're going to be winning this election. Come out and support Choose Progress.
Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me. And I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. All around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be, everywhere I go, I can feel it.
Hey, I mean, 16 girls. Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir à tout le monde. On dit, tu vois, je dis bonsoir aussi. Bien, bonsoir. Bonsoir, good evening. I say bonsoir because I don't know how the French come tonight in my mouth because bonsoir. No, I also say that people from the other side. So,
You make it sound like alien.
from the other side. On the other side, when I see Sint Maarten, when you guys are on the French, so I think everybody in the room they understand French. So, bonsoir à ceux qui nous écoutent, bonsoir à ceux qui nous regardent sur les réseaux sociaux, et bonsoir à ceux qui sont dans le studio. Ce soir, on est assez plein. Il y a no stranger inside the house tonight, okay? So, good evening to everybody, those who are watching us, those in the traffic, and I hope after election, everybody will think that traffic because we are almost a month now, everybody see they have solution for the traffic, tunnel, mark the road, pass over the hill, under the hill, so they have solution. So I hope when everybody gets in parliament, we're gonna see solution. So guys, Gerald in the house with you as a host. I have my big co-host in the house with me. I have to say big because that's our combo we had, but normally she was supposed to be behind the mic tonight. Because I tell her, okay, you're gonna be the host tonight. And she tell me I can't move up from she position. So you'll see how it is. So it'll go. So Good evening to Mrs. Wara Gums Janet. No. It's Chanel Boala. I know. I just make it possible. I wanted to change. We got new people in the house tonight. Just I was making sure, like everybody know who would be. I think after a month, everybody is in that in the house. And you see the camera. We got a new host here. A new host facing Janet. Yeah, that the new host will come after election. So you think you should just jump?
I jump in because I might as well say good night to everybody.
And big look me like good night. Good evening.
Good evening to my favorite host. You see how you're just making points, right? How you have to compliment him.
Oh, you?
I'm great.
Okay. I happy you're back because I make a month. No, by a month. I ain't see you there. The last, yeah. It was December last year. I see you in Sweden.
Really?
Yes. Yes, really. It's because you tell me every morning, so you expect I see you every day in the studio. But anyway, I
well, you know what? I'll leave it up to the public's imagination as to what he means by that. As to what he means by me saying good morning every morning.
And we have now no stranger to youth radio. And I believe when you reach in Holland, he will send us WhatsApp of your call. It's Mr. Blaze who in the house with us tonight. Mr. Blaze, how are you? But since you was how the feeling, how campaign going with you?
Going good. Exciting time, doing a lot. Of course, sleepless night, but that's what I signed up for. I'm looking forward to it.
Especially Holland.
Yeah, especially Holland. You see, I'm dressed for the weather. Already appointed minister of plenipotentiary. So
listen, we got to see over the wall. We can't stick behind the wall and say we see over here. So I watching in Holland, and we could do connection and interview. Now we update. You could say China. We do the interview with you.
That's why we have technology.
Yes,
so I can be the minister.
Exactly. So when you're gonna be minister and she gonna be MP, even she don't want to come, we gonna get you.
Okay. You know what? I'm not needed in this interview because he's speaking for me already.
So we're gonna start by MP the River. MP, the last time you was in conversation, December or November last year. You was in a phase like decision which party you will join for the next election. Today we see PFP. Why PFP? Because some people maybe were waiting for you.
Let's skip a question.
Which one?
But they know who she is.
No, I don't want her.
You know who she is?
No, I don't know her.
They want, but that was off air. That was off air.
Good you co-host.
This is why the co-host is here. Well, who am I? Okay, so I belong to Tessie and Leroy the Weaver. Earlier on, I was telling Marie-Thérèse, everyone, Choisy is my mom from Marigot. By way of Marigot and La Savane. And my dad is Petrus Leroy the Weaver from the Dutch side, from Dutch Quarter, and then later on Town, or Phillipsburg, or Great Bay, whichever name you want to call it by. So I have both sides of the island that I come from. I grew up here. I moved to the US when I was 12 years old, and then studied in the US for university as well, and then left to go to England. Worked in England in finance for about 7 years. Came back here, worked in finance for 4 years, then left to work for the big boss in Curacao for another 3 years. And then came back to Sint Maarten after Hurricane Irma. I worked with GB. GB was my client before. That's why you guys hear me loud about GB all the time, because I was part of the team that cleaned it up one after the hurricane and got things back to the way it was without taking money from World Bank. It was something that I was very proud of because it was an option of taking money from World Bank and then streamlining the company, firing basically 30% of the staff, or we just had to do some miracles and really like major cost cutting. And in the end, the major cost cutting helped, and we cleaned up their books, so they had good opinions, the best that you would want to do for a company when you're doing audits. And really, really proud of the work I did there with the management team that was in place. I was there for, election was January 2020, January 2020, and that's when I left GB. I left GB in March to take up my post as minister. So, a big part of who I fought now and where I am is that background story in a nutshell. And I think it's also a good way to lead into why I have been so loud in Parliament these last 2 years, especially after the episode with GB, because I've seen what it's like firsthand to be in a government-owned company that could have had its that could have failed, basically, that it could have gone bankrupt. But when you take proper decision making, unpopular decision making, in the benefit of the country and the best interest of the employees without cutting their benefits, whether it's their health care or their 13 months or their bonus, you see that it's possible to do it even in the toughest times. And it's a story that I like sharing with people because even though they hear me loud about GB, they didn't really know the background of why it was I was so loud about GB. Same thing at the airport with my client. For a hot second, Harbor was my client as well. So I know and tell them as well. I know the intricacies of these companies, which is why a lot of my questioning to the floor of Parliament has been financial, mostly financial. I don't really do all the papa show and be loud for loud sake. I'm really just trying to get at the things that I know. Um, that's it in a nutshell. I'm back home and I'm coming again. I'm getting involved again because I see the impact that honest people with integrity have on a country that actually really is begging for it. And I think that this party provides that. And when she had asked the question again later on, I'll be able to give the answer of why I am where I am, and why I'm very proud of where I am.
Thank you. Now you could continue, Jigal.
You see, that's why I tell her she had to be host tonight. But anyway, so no, not you. She. So I'm saying like few months last year, we had an interview as an MP of the Parliament, and there was enough time like to decide between PFP and DP. And as a D-River, we know D-River, the
We should work together. You're very direct. That's how I am.
You don't cut down.
Right.
hey, listen, everybody got his specialties. But anyway, so we know you was in between, and we know D-River normally is a dead DP. Let me say DP. So from the time I started to follow DP, I know so. So that gotta be almost 40 years now. But anyway, so why PFP?
So I knew from December I was going to be with PFP.
Okay.
I started, PFP has this amazing campaign team that sort of, when you have the candidates come on, especially the new candidates that compile everything together to sort of give you an overview of what they know about you based on what they could have collected on you so far, right? So especially if you're already a public figure, they had that, and they were like, this is what we see based on your articles or your posts, we compiling what we see of you. And when I saw it, I said, whoa. I was like, where do you guys come from? They were, yeah. It was really incredible to see it, to see how organized they were, the campaign team, to see how ready they were to show you your potential of how people could see you. And when I saw that, I said, oh, this is really easy. Because I have been talking to, other people talk to me, of course, other parties start to talk to me. When I saw what was prepared and how they work and how the team, boy, I was like, this is easy, hands down. And, the best part is I found out after the fact of making a decision, when I ended up taking MP Gums, Melissa Gums, the leader, to a family party, I had a bunch of cousins going, yeah, finally. So I think like the reaction of my family was already like, right? I see where you're happy that I am, why you're happy that where I am where I am. But yeah, that was it. It was a very easy one. Getting to know the candidates. This is not something that you kind of just decide on a whim when you're going to run, right? So having a very strong campaign team at the core that has the overall picture and direction of the party and uniformity of the party, making sure that the whole, I guess, how do you say, values, the whole motto of the party is really accepted by everyone, and then that by everyone expecting as well, or accept, everyone feeling heard, everyone knowing that everyone's opinion matters, everyone contributes to the manifesto. So you have to see yourself in the party, and it was very easy for me to fit in there. It was a relationship that started already from when I was minister of Tiyat, that both both MPs in the PFP faction, MP Gums and MP Peterson, they were always there to help across party lines. And I think when you look at the level of maturity of them helping across party lines, saying, you know, how can we assist with this? We have legislative help that we can do, like, you know, how can we work together? That's a really big step for me. That was very important to me. It's a very significant, how do you say, action that they took, which proved to me that, well, they're mature enough to go across party lines. And this is the group I want to be with. This is the kind of people I want to be associated with, leading the country together, because they value your opinion, but they also expect you to uphold the most values, moral, ethics, integrity throughout the entire process. So you were right that, you know, FBI screening, it was like that, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, but the reason I want to say that that's important is that, especially in this past week, when I have been on interviews, I've been saying to people in general, to the public and to the host, and I said, you know, take a look at the kind of people that you're seeing on the posters. Now, when you are talking about who you're going to represent on a global scale, who you're going to represent on a local scale, these are people that you should be able to look up to as kids. You know, the kids have to take, you should lead by example. You should lead with the right behavior. And when you have persons that, and also the kind of legislation, the laws in place, the policies in place that allow you with a shady past, a sketchy past, to still hold office and represent at the highest level your people, the public then has to ask themselves, do I want that person on that poster with a criminal background, or whether it's white collar or not crime, representing me? And this is where you have to raise the bar, raise the level, raise the integrity of the people that you put to represent you in office. And PFP did that for me.
Thank you for answering my question.
We finished now?
Yes.
Okay.
Janet?
No,
You good? Before I go deep, because I have at least 40 questions for PFP. Tonight, the last week. You see?
But how much time we have?
We have our hour. Let's go. Before we go too deep, and read questions, and I would like to know, because that's the first time we ask, I don't think we asked about that. Do St. Maarten government have money?
No, I've listened, you know, I don't want people to see me when I answer live that it's all giggly, you know, it's all fun and games and all that. It's not. It's just that I reacted that way because I'm like, okay, you're asking me this question. I wonder if you ask other people that come on the program the question, because even though I have a finance background, I'm not a minister of finance, but I'm not going to shy away from that question. Okay. No. If you see that when we're representing budgets, the budgets are at a deficit, and now we get a budget that's like passing by the hair of the skin, you know. Let's be realistic, we don't have money, but that's also like saying that the government-owned companies don't have, like, you know, anyone telling that they have money. When you have money, that means you're continuously making a profit that you can actually use to reinvest to either build something or, you know, get better equipment, modernize, something like that. So it's not something that is new to the island that we are loss making. And we have at different times of, let me just use the 4 months, survived on liquidity support from the Netherlands. Okay. So I'm gonna answer that way. If we take money from Holland, that means we're broke. Even if we're paying back a loan, that means we're broke. So yes, they would, maybe even if you say, oh, you break even, you're still paying back a loan. So you understand where I'm trying to go with it. I think a big thing that people have to do that the government before hasn't been in a position to do is take that difficult decision and say, where can the same thing that I was explaining to you guys before when I did a GB, where can you cut costs immediately? So if you're not prepared for that, then you're not going to see an improvement, because sometimes people avoid making decisions because it's going to make them unpopular, and they want to make sure that they appease people, all of the workers. They're trying to make everyone happy, and that's not what life is about, especially when you're trying to run a company and when you're trying to run, and I'm talking private sector now, and especially now when you're trying to run the business of the people. Because if you're continuously operating in the way that the government has been operating and not telling people the truth, then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be very surprised. And I'm going to give you an example of this. Government, the way that government has operated in a few years is instead of them receiving, let's say, concession fees from GB, they just offset it with what they owe GB in electricity.
Okay.
That means money does never change hands. They offset it. I don't. It's something that depending where you are for rules of accounting. I'm not going to get into the boring things for the listeners who are like, what's she talking about on the video? You don't do that because it gives you a false picture, right? And it's the same thing when you're talking about people's health care. So the civil servants, government isn't able to pay over SZB, but SZB is still covering the cost of the civil servant. So what did they do with SZB in the past is they say, SZB, you can buy the government building because we owe you all this money, so we're going to leave you on the government building. Okay. So you understand what I'm trying to say is when you have non-business minded people making decisions on the future of your company, how the money is handled, then how are you surprised that we don't have no money because you're not crossing money? When you're doing an exchange of a building in exchange for health care for people, you don't see actual cash being passed that you could actually do your investments with. So I hope that's easy enough that I can explain it in a layman term that people could understand that, because that's what this government has been doing for a long time. When I say this government, I don't mean only the government for 4 years, the government for actually since I've been back in Sint Maarten since 2010. Since about 2010, I know because I'm the one that has to do the financial audit. So I'm doing accountability and I'm seeing, and you have to have these big agreements with government in GB in order to offset. And the public needs to pay attention to that, because imagine, I've also heard the story of the same thing with pensions, for instance. You're getting pensions deducted from you when you're getting your payslip. But then if you go and you look at pension, the person, if they go to the pension provider, they're not seeing their name in there yet. There's a delay with things. And it's one of the things I told people this year when I was at a union meeting. I said, please do me a favor. When now you get the payslip, just make sure that everything on your payslip exists. If you're talking about pension, make sure you have a record of your pension existing. Make sure you have a FZV card or your number that you know that you're always covered. But people need to be cognizant of this, not just civil servants. The public needs to know how country finances work, and then you wouldn't be surprised that your government will grow. I hope that helps you. It's a lot.
Yes, we understand. We understand. You make it sharp, but we understand. We booked.
I mean, in a nutshell, yes. But have I lost hope? No. So I'm going to look in the camera. Mm-hmm. Everybody thought that GB was going to be doomed after Hurricane Irma, and it wasn't. You know why? We made really difficult decisions to the point where the employees were really upset with management. And then one day I came in and I said, it was my advice to management, this is why we need to do it. Everything else is in place, but we won't get the extra gifts, like the gift certificates, to the supermarket or ham for Christmas, or a gift certificate that everybody gets equally for perfumes and colognes and stuff like that. These are luxuries that you have gotten used to because you work with a company that takes pride in their employees, so they give them extra benefits, like extra incentives. Yeah, like that as a token of appreciation. Tokens of appreciation cost money. They're the easiest thing to cut, and this government has to be brave enough to make those cuts and take the blows like I did when I was at GB. And I can confidently look in the camera and look at all of you and say that the work we did with the 3 managing directors at GB at the time was really brave, because you had management, you had the staff mad at you, but we did the right decision at the right time that everybody kept their job. And that's what you need to look at in a government, and people that's what you need to look at in the Minister of Finance. You have to be brave and do what your country needs.
Thank you, Jeanette.
So to build back up the finance of the country, what at least I guess there's many ideas that you have, but at least 3 ideas that you have to generate money back into the country.
So first thing that I would do, because like the example I just gave you, I would start cutting costs, like frivolous spending somewhere. I can give you an example. I don't want to say that I don't appreciate the civil servants that we've had. I do appreciate them, and I don't want people to take this out of context. But for instance, you have it's very hard for me if I'm a financial controller to give extra gifts if you don't have money. And this year, what I know this year is that staff still got an extra gift, which was like what do you call it? A gift certificate, right? For like 250 guilders. When you times that by the number of civil servants we have, and you realize that you're not you're not no one says that country finances you're making a profit, but how can you incur more expenses like this for little luxury that you can't afford? We can't afford. So it would literally be those kind of things. The staff got it this year for Christmas. So we are at a very critical point in our finances where you have to cut that now, or else be ready to go back to mama house and beg. So it's stuff like this. It's you have to like one of the things that we have discussed with PFP over like the whole time in the manifesto preparation is the cost cutting that would happen. You would have to look at, let's say, the car fleet, right? And they're gonna say it's unpopular, but is it correct that people have cars from government who don't need the cars to be on the road to do their job? And it's just being realistic, you know. And so that, and if I'm talking about new revenue streams, over the 4 years, a lot of ministers have come up with new revenue streams. The new revenue streams require you to actually do the work of the legislation and have that dialogue with people. And so it's a combination of cutting costs across the board. And for me, I will say that the minister that's there tried to do it a little bit when he started looking at rents and making sure everybody was in the buildings that they own. So I could go across the entire list of expenses per ministry and tell you where you can cut costs. And these are costs that are going to be frivolous spending, costs around benefits like cars. When you cut the cost of benefits like cars, you'll be cutting the cost of fuel to do certain things. I would not cut the cost of people that are on the road and need food bonds, for instance, because you're taking away from their regular tasks. And then I would review the revenue streams and actually follow through on the revenue ideas that we have.
My question,
I didn't talk about tax as an extra revenue, right? Because that's a whole other interview. But Gerald don't want me to come next week, so.
Anyway, my question is going to Mr. Blaze. Mr. Blaze, always say January 11th is elected as MP. Yes, I MP, and suddenly no containers come in the country.
No containers come into the country.
Yes.
Why?
They have some issues. They have I don't wish they have COVID, but something happened. Food can't come in. You as MP, I am MP from PFP, and Minister for Health will deal with that.
It would be combination. It would be health, yeah, correct, because it's border.
Okay. So as MP of PFP, and you see this in supermarket shelf getting empty, people need food. What advice you will give to a PFP minister?
What advice that I would give to
as an MP? Yes.
Okay. The first thing I would do is a consultation. Have a meeting with those ministries, the Ministry of Justice, Health, and PAYA. And I would make sure when they do come into Parliament that we ask them important questions as we want to have transparency on why there's no shipments of products coming into our country. I would ask the Ministry of Justice what is going on at our borders. Is there a certain conflict, or is there a certain issue or bottleneck that we have to resolve? There's also this tool that they have in Parliament, which is called inquiry, where you're basically under oath and you have to tell the truth.
Okay.
So that's one tool that I would use to ensure that I get all of the answers that the public needs. In order for us to ensure that everything is transparent and everyone knows what's going on, I would make sure that it's public, that it's a public meeting so that everyone can, listen to what's going on. Of course, I'm not in Parliament, so I don't know how feasible or realistic that possibility is, because I do know you have closed door meetings as well, where you do discuss things that are very sensitive. But I believe something like this, where products are not coming into our nation, everyone already knows about that, because this is something that is the most important, because we import everything, almost everything. Basically, 99% of everything is imported here on this island. So that's one of the first things that I would do.
Thank you. We go to Janet. Any question to Liz?
Yes, we are staying on the shared question, but tourism, right? We say tourism is our main source of revenue, etc., etc. But we saw during pandemic, places shut down, no tourists, and that made the economy go down
Yes.
very much, and a lot of people are having a difficult time getting that. Since, okay. What other solution do you think we can put in place to other than tourism? Because we are reaching to a point where okay, we need to look at another source of revenue for the island. What are the ideas? Because we're looking forward straight, we are not sticking to tomorrow because we don't evolve with tomorrow. We evolve with looking into 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
What do you see for some?
I think that we already have one of the answers here, but we're not utilizing it, which is technology. That's why it's important for us to implement a STEAM curriculum here on the island. When you look at the Silicon Valley, they were able to make certain platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I believe if we start to innovate and we give the opportunities and skills and competencies to our students and youths in order for them to proliferate or excel and achieve their goals, this is something that we can utilize. You can sit at your computer, you can do coding, you can test video games, and you can get paid for that actually. So these are best practices that other countries are using. If you look at Barbados with the digital nomads, this is a concept that you don't need to actually be in the company where you're working. You can, have an Airbnb, you can have a hotel, and you can work from the place that you're working from. And something that I believe that we could look into, but of course you guys can tell me if this is feasible or not, because I believe this is an open discussion, so safe space to discuss the idea. No, please do. This is our last day. I want you to scrutinize me as if I'm sitting in Parliament. He told me. So I work at the university, and I believe that if we could increase and turn St. Martin into a student city, that it would actually bring more revenue for us. Right now, we have around approximately up to 700 to 800 students that is in the medical university. If we could expand, or if we could, attract more universities here and even accredit our university here in St. Martin, I think it would bring more students to the island, and that means that students need places to live. So that means renting will go up. They need things to eat. That means they'll go to the grocery stores, insurance. They want to rent cars. They want to go out. So now you have a metropolitan city where students are actually going out as well, and you have bands that can play for them. So I think a lot of opportunities are available if we think of innovation, if you think of STEAM curriculum, if you're thinking of a student city, like how the Netherlands has with Breda, Amsterdam, Utrecht. So these are possibilities.
And then we gone to my mom, we say
We have to trouble this.
I think
you have to offend, you have to
Stop calling people names. Thank you very much.
I think BTP has to innovate.
No, they have to. Yeah, I think all of them collectively, because that's one of the things that have been readily available. That's one of the things readily available for you, and you don't really have to sort of change your whole island to get it done. You just need a proper connection, right? Exactly. And it's something that came up exactly like he said during COVID, where people were getting very, very creative with how they could still work while being at home, and that's why they moved. That's why they started moving around, and then they still allowed to do it to this day. Actually, is to work from home or anywhere in the world. But the same thing that you saw, which is at the same time, you heard the popularity of agriculture, which you guys have done really well on the front side of supporting those businesses. And even when I was minister, and they said, "Oh, we should move from tourism and go to agriculture. And I've always been adamant about the fact that there's no way you can flip flop from one day to the next into a new industry or product, but especially if we're not maintaining the industry that has made us survive for all these years of tourism. And I have been very vocal about that, where I said if we continue to destroy and damage our island in terms of our environment and litter and pollute, basically physically pollute our natural resources, which is what we're selling in this tourism industry, then even when you talk about an industry like agriculture, it has no chance if we continue to pollute. But I do think that if one of the both technology and agriculture being revived during COVID, it should be pushed more, should be continued, and we have a long way to go on the Dutch side to be able to support what you've been doing on the French side, because you have basically people that have cattle again, you have people that have agriculture again, and there's still on the Dutch side that are doing that, and want to continue to do it in a way that is sustainable. And the government will have to do a lot to support those industries. So, talking about it is good, but they actually have to really now put their foot down and say, well, how can I help these industries thrive? And the way that they do it is by giving them subsidies for electricity and water for the agriculture, but as well as if you're trying to attract a new industry like technology, like you said, you're also going to have to think about how to give them the incentive to start up. And when you're giving incentives to people, it requires you to have money. Yeah, but if you're bad spending that money, then you kind of almost painting yourself in a corner. So it's good for them to have this idea, and you still need to make those very difficult decisions of cost cutting so that you could try and take some money and investment in a new area, and the one you just discussed. Yeah.
Okay. Question going for you, both insecurity and the island. PFP, how you guys see these insecurity issues and other robbery? How you guys see this?
I could talk to
No, you do not have the floor.
Oh, okay, Minister Stammer or Stammer. It's like he said you do not have the word.
Okay, so you have the floor, MP River.
Oh, thanks a lot. So if you're talking about security, I will take it back really quickly to the tourism aspect. It's one of the things that, let's say, for instance, the cruise line look at immediately. They always request more presence of police on the island, so that when their passengers are going around the island, that they are safe and secure. Otherwise, they will not come to your island. So it's not just an effect on the Dutch side; it's going to also be an effect on the French side. And the same thing for hotels, mega yacht industry. If you think in the maritime industry, if people are going to have a risk where they're going to be on their boat and be on their yacht or boat and be robbed, then of course we're going to lose an entire industry that has been sustaining since the Bay Area for years. And it's one of the areas that we are neglecting because we tend to overcharge the yachting industry, and they have been moving to Antigua for a long time.
Okay.
And or to the French side, because the French side has a lot cheaper rates for them to actually be able to anchor or to be over by Fort Louis. So we're doing something that's trying to kill an industry, basically. In terms of security, if you are, for me, I feel like in the absence of an army, you need to make sure that the people that are going to keep you secure are paid well. The police are not paid well. The custom officers are not paid well. The pompiers, the fire department, they're not paid well. These are people that are putting their life on the line, especially when you're talking about the fire department and the police officers as well as the ambulance. They're the ones that are frontliners that we saw during COVID, but they're not being paid their worth. So until you respect their worth, then you are constantly going to you're going to expose yourself in your country. So again, for me, it's not that I always want to take every conversation back to money, but it goes back to how much do you respect me and you value. And I will say that if we expect more visitors to come here, if we expect more people to invest here, buy here, or live here, exist here, that is something that we need to really take into consideration on the topic of security, we also with MP, sorry, I said MP. Oh, Marvio Cooks, if you are listening in, I just manifested that for you. Come January 11th, because I said MP, I was going to say MP Cook, MP Marvio Cooks. So, Marvio, I know, right? MP Cooks. I went with him to a cybersecurity conference in Sint Maarten, and that's something again that the French side takes a lead on, and I admire it because we met people from both there as well. We met people from all
You like
different.
dope,
So because they were
inside here?
no. Oh my goodness.
I know. What she is.
But because they were present at it, and security is not just that physical security that you saw through persons, it's also that security online. So if we're trying to pull back the the idea, the industry that Nelly is talking about, you need to make sure that not only your borders are secure, but also your services online, your internet, your systems are secure. And if it's not, we're gonna have the situation we have with GB, where 2 years of March in 2024 will be 2 years since the attack. So that has a massive impact on all of us, because you have an island that is really upset and not trusting what they're getting in their in their invoice of their bills. And so all of security is absolutely important, not only for us, but also for those coming to that.
And I want to, can I?
Yeah, but you.
I was supposed to I tell them, listen, I tell them that I got talk long, so leave that. Start first. The next question, you start first.
You go first, no problem. No problem. And the Weaver is totally right. We have to pay our law enforcement. We have to value their job. But from the other side, we have to look at it as, why is it a problem that we have so much crime? And it's because of poverty. And the reason why we have poverty is because
we don't need to answer my question.
Cover it one time, because I leave that side for you.
And the reason why people resort to crime is because they don't have the basic needs. They don't meet the basic needs. So they're going to resort to crime. They're going to resort to violence in order for them to get that next meal on their plate, in order for them to survive. So it's basically Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first thing that you want to have is physiology. If you want to survive, you want to make sure that you can eat, have a roof over your head. So these are things that if you don't work on as a government, as a society, to ensure that there's a poverty line, to ensure that basic needs are met, then your society is going to resort to those kinds of things that we don't like, which is crime, robbing, and all of these different things. So actually looking at it from those two sides, ensuring that we put value on the jobs of the law enforcement. And I think what else that we have to do when we're putting value in law enforcement, we have to put standards. What kind of standards? Who are going to be law enforcement agents? Are we going to hire anyone, or are we going to put really high standards that we get high quality people that have the competency, have the integrity, and who are going to be accountable in the line of duty? Because this is a very noble job that you're taking. You're putting your life on the line to protect the nation. So we have to ensure that we have people that are competent and ready to take up that oath. So those are the things that you have to really look at it. You have to look at it from the side of, where is it happening, who is going to solve it, and how we can combine that together.
Okay. Is that it? You good? Yes. Okay, my question will go to MP De River. MP, how do you see if PFP have to put in place a housing program for Sint Maarten? How do you see like Sint Maarten people, especially young people, owning land, houses? How do you see under PFP government?
You mean how we're going to solve the housing crisis?
Yes.
I don't think solving the housing crisis is taking land from GB that you didn't pay for so that you can build houses on. So I don't know if you've been paying attention lately, but again, the example I was giving you guys earlier on, you can't take land from a company that you didn't pay for. If you owe GB electricity, I hope you didn't exchange it for the land that they hadn't helped to build housing. So I want to make that very, very clear. Housing is an issue here that we have always had because of the fact that it's also linked to our low salaries and the high cost of real estate, the high cost of land. And even when you have certain projects come up that seem affordable, the hoops that individuals have to go through in order to get financing for it, it's really, really difficult. And I'm not going to go into what my experience was like in a bank trying to get a loan. That's another story for another day. But
you have a law coming in so you could get access to
yeah, another story for another day too. Another story. I mean, I'm not trying to avoid it, but another story for another day. There's a lot of options in terms of what we had already there. You see that they had the housing foundation. What has happened over the years with the housing foundation is sort of, I'm going to say something that's going to probably upset a lot of people. There's been a little bit of also mismanagement or bad financial planning, where certain things didn't work out for them. And again, it requires you to be very, very strict with the way that you handle your investments, right? And what you've heard is about different ways of building as well, right? Like townhouses or towers, the same that you see on the first side. But you have to remember that when you are doing social housing needs to be somewhere where you feel happy. And otherwise, you're just going to be creating an area of dilapidated places that people have no respect to maintain and live in. Yeah, and I was trying to avoid using that word, but when you see it in other countries, and especially in Europe, you see how they share the space, right? They don't put everybody in one area. They have you equally spaced out within the entire country or island. One of the things that I have always said from the time I came back from England is I'm very heavily incentive influenced, because I do think that the island needs to think about providing, what do you call it, decreased rents, and actually make it a law where you would be providing, you would be giving an incentive to landlords to have housing specifically for frontline workers. Okay. So if you're talking about persons that are police officers, customs, coast guard, nurses, teachers, these are the people that you really need to make sure you're providing for, because they are already on limited salaries. They're really doing an amazing job of educating us and keeping us safe and healing us, but we haven't really done anything for them. And when you look at the housing that we have provided, there's a massive wait list there. And in the meantime, I was going to give you my solution, which is one that I do think is feasible, because when you go around the website, you see how many empty properties you have. And one of the reasons that the properties stay empty, or what's the word, dilapidated, is about the cost. Because of the cost of it, yes, it will be maybe families still waiting to divide and succession issues, which we have on both French and website. But you have to be able to assist people in that scenario. And one of the things that I really love, one of the ideas I really love, is being able to tell you as a landlord, hey, if you give 10% of your properties to frontline workers, can we exchange that with a tax refund or a lower tax assessment? And for me, the reason that I think that is one that's most realistic is because you're now relying on private property owners to help you to deal with the shortage issue. And once you've done that, then you can start going out and saying, okay, well, let me start to assess what land is available. Another one of the things that's there, which I don't know, I really wish that MP Rayon was on this as well, because MP Rayon, has he been here, Peterson? MP Peterson. Sorry?
You didn't bring him.
Well, we were doing it with Nelly to do the exchange. MP Peterson is a lawyer, right? But he's also a person that has worked in farming. He's also aware of the massive succession issues that we have on the island, which actually either have people illegally living on it, but there's someone's getting rent in the family, or you have empty land that is undivided that no one can do anything with, because again, if you want to divide it, it costs a lot of money. So in a quick discussion we've had also is, how can we help this succession land issue to make more land available? Because government long lease land is limited. So you have to get creative, but you have to get creative in a way that costs you less as a government in the short term. And this is why I said the solution that I gave you.
Okay, thank you. Janet,
Hey, no. No. We started a little bit. No, we didn't avoid. You want anything to say about that?
I don't know what other questions you have. Last.
No, come on, man. Someone else is coming out?
Yes. Let's go, Janet. You will come
planning,
back.
do you have an idea for, because friends said have like a soul plan, like where, okay, you can't build there, but you can build him because there we
Yeah, friend side is very picky about what they want you to do, depending on who you are.
Exactly.
We're gonna get into that on another day, okay? You forget that I have friendship. No. But in the defense of the way to do our friend side, I think it is important that you have that in place because you're also looking at your spatial planning. And part of the manifesto of the PFP is about spatial planning. How do we want to see our island in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 20 years from now when we have limited land mass? That is very important, and that's why it's part of our manifesto.
Whole day, how it's big enough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we should have protected areas that
Yeah.
you
We're
cannot
in
build on.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why having a vision on proper spatial planning is important.
And it's part of our manifesto. It's like the what do you call them? The non-negotiable, right? It's in the non-negotiable section. It's about the bidding.
Yes,
bidding.
the bidding process.
We have a bidding process. We have the what is it? The screening of the staff, and I believe it's the spatial planning one that's in there. I have to check. Hold on. It's late.
My last go to Janet. Janet you done yet. Last question to you, Janet. Let's go.
My last question is, I asked that question 20 minutes ago, so last time.
I heard of.
And
You're fun.
I have someone who wants to open a business, but was told that she cannot get a business permit because she's working. And maybe to put it in someone's name who's not working or
you know what? Let me just tell you straight away the loopholes I do not like, nor will I ever condone. But I will give you the good thing is the person is anonymous, so I will tell you the only time that is correct is if the person is working for government. If the person is a civil servant, they it's not very easy for them to have a side job or a company without getting permission from their supervisor or possibly even the minister. So if that person is a civil servant, then they would have been denied that. It shouldn't have been from a government perspective, but it should have been. I don't see why government would deny them that unless they knew already that they were a civil servant. But if they were denied, because the fact that you put it together with they can't get a business permit because they have a job means that person is a civil servant. But is the person a civil servant?
Yes, but
there we go. That's
the information that was given to them wasn't that way.
No, but I'll tell you straight up.
The person is not working, so now you're adding.
But you're saying that the person was working, and they were told when they went to get a business license that they can't because they have another job. They have a full-time job, and that's why I told you immediately one time. I'm so glad I know my stuff. That person is a civil servant. Now here's the thing. Here's
1 minute.
Wait, no. Here's my answer where I would have been. I don't like to give people a no unless it's an absolute no, and they have to be complete when they explain something. If the job that you want to do and the business that you want to create does not interfere with your full-time job as a civil servant, why would you deny them that right? Because they're going to be paying taxes. So if it's a job that they're going to be doing on the weekend, if that job that they're going to be creating with that business license does not interfere with their day-to-day job and their productivity still remains to the level it needs to be in order to stay employed, then there's absolutely no problem with that. And in fact, what you're doing is probably discouraging employees and making them unhappy. Again, let's be real. If you think that your side job as a civil servant is going to be baking cakes on the weekend, I would want you, as the future Minister of Finance potentially, right, to pay your taxes on the job you have. It will force you to go underground and go tax evade taxes because no one was having that honest conversation with you of, hey, you can do that. And just so you know, if you're going to do a sole proprietorship or B or NP, these are your options. And they should have just been straightforward.
Voila.
Okay.
So, folks, that was conversation with PFP. I had MP Derivan, the host, and Mr. Blaze. And we're going to work to see if we go at least bring Blaze next week so he could explain.
Oh, you were trying to see if I would react to it? No problem.
week, and we try to bring not all the candidates, those who had want to come will come, and tomorrow afternoon we're there from 5:30 we're gonna be in the house tomorrow. No, not you, especially, but we're gonna work. I gonna see with the co-host if she want to host the show to bring back PFP. So folks,
well, you know, when you bring back PFP, we don't give you BS answers, huh? We give you really good answers.
So I see you want to continue. So folks, thank you for them.
And that's why I'm so proud to be there.
And you do not have the word.
I do
Thank
have
you.
the word.
Okay. Folks, folks, thanks for following the conversation. So Janet, see you tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow, and you guys will just on social media.
Tomorrow, you know.
Yes, I will be there because we have.
If you don't show up, I'll help you co-host.
Yeah, that one for sure. You're gonna do that interview. So, folks, after we is backbone with the man that is tool on the house. We take 6 minutes from here, so you don't beat us. And PFP, see you guys maybe next week.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And I wish you guys the best. And come to vote fast because we're gonna be in the house following, so we could go home earlier.
Would you like to be an observer? Are they allowed to be an observer?
No.
Okay, but he answered.
Folks, be safe. I have to tell you guys, those who start to party, behave, be safe on the road, and see you guys tomorrow. So be safe tonight. So tomorrow afternoon we're in the house. We have another candidate that we're gonna be with last for this week.
All right, that's right.
For this week, so we're gonna see. We don't use crystal ball. Crystal ball, we don't use it for we program, but we're gonna see what we're gonna do for next week. Guys, be safe.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, there'll be blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, there'll be. Everywhere I go, I can feel it. I can feel it. See His blessings all around me in every season, and I'm more than grateful.
Nothing.
I don't know. It's outside for me.
No. Can we?